Welcome back. Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. Great to be with you. Hey, I want to tell you something today. This is just this whole segment. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about one man, okay? And I want you to know this because tomorrow is his birthday. He was born on July 11th, and tomorrow he will be 99 years old. Major General John K. Singlaub, and his name is, he went by Jack, General Jack Singlaub. And he's retired U.S. Army general. Extraordinary life, wonderful man. I'm privileged to know him well and consider him a friend. It's just extraordinary. And he wrote a book called Hazardous Duty. And here's what I'm going to tell you. If you want to get a copy of it, we have some copies that are digital copies that we can send out. We got some produced because when he wrote this book in the 1980s, and I'll tell you more about him in a second, it's called Hazardous Duty, An American Soldier in the 20th Century. Now, Jack Singlaub, as a boy, growing up, his mother made him study French. When he went to college, he couldn't get into the military academy because he wanted to, but because his father was a worker for the county, and it was the wrong party. I forget which party it was. So he went to UCLA, and at UCLA he studied Japanese. And then he went into the Army. This is in the early 1940s. And he ended up being a Jedburgh, which the Jedburghs were parachute guys that jumped behind enemy lines in France in groups of 3. And they ran undercover the French resistance. And of the 300 of them, half of them were killed when they were discovered, and he did not die, obviously, and he ran. So he was a founding member of the OSS, it was called. It later became the CIA, and so he was a hero right there. And remember I told you he studied French when he was a boy? Well, he studied Japanese when he was in school, in college, and so he ended up, as soon as the war ended in France, in Europe, he was sent by the U.S. military to go into Japan because he spoke Japanese. In other words, he had done everything he could to be prepared to be as valuable as he could to America. When he gets to Japan, he's getting ready for the invasion of Japan. That's what everybody was getting ready to do when they dropped the atomic bomb and the war is ending, except he then had to go and liberate prisoners of war. And the Japanese camps where they held, I think it was mostly Australians and Dutch prisoners, the Japanese were notoriously unwilling to stop the war. They were really, even though they were, they're told the war's over, so it was really tough. And he had to liberate these camps. Then the war ends. Comes back to America, ends up serving in Korea, serving in Vietnam, serving during the Cold War, serving down in Latin America, helping, Ollie North and that crew got a lot of attention because they got caught. Well, General Jack Singlaub, who was out of the military at the time, was the guy that was actually doing lots of good to help freedom in that part of the world. He's an extraordinary hero. General Jack Singlaub. It's his birthday. He's wonderful to be with. He's funny. He lives down in Tennessee now. He's just an extraordinary American hero. And his book, Hazardous Duty, An American Soldier in the 20th Century, is extraordinary. If you think about it, when I tell you he was a soldier from about 1940, 41, all the way through to the late 80s into the 90s, it's the most extraordinary period in American history. And he was a hero in every part of that, all those different places. Now, he did, even more famously, get fired by Carter because he said Carter's policies with regard to Korea were a dumb idea, and he said giving up the Panama Canal was a dumb idea, both which was true, and Carter was the president at the time, and that just became the time for him to retire. But that's neither here nor there. It's actually, that's a wonderful badge of honor, and I won't tell on the radio the story that General Singlaub told me about being summoned to Jimmy Carter's Oval Office and what was said. It was benign enough, but I'm not sure he gave me the right to tell the story on the air. So what a wonderful man. And here's the thing. These idiots that talk about what's wrong with America, Jack Singlaub didn't come from any big wealth or anything. He didn't come from a big family, like a famous family, moneyed family. He's the quintessential American hero. And he did it like so many Americans did. When America produces men like Jack Singlaub, we got nothing to worry about. And so happy birthday, General Singlaub. If you want to learn more about him, you can email me directly. My email is out there, ed at edmartinlive.com. People will send me an email. I'll send you more about General Jack Singlaub. Happy birthday, General. And his wife, Joan, is extraordinary. His daughter is wonderful. Just an extraordinary family. What a blessing on America. So happy birthday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you to Todd filling in today for Noah and Joanna for helping book the show. And we will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. Be back Monday.